Well, we're at the beginning of a new year, and who better to check in with than our senior editor, John Waggy, and our Middle East correspondent, Julie Stahl.
2026 predictions. John, I'll start with you. What's coming in politics when it relates to Israel and the United States in 2026?
Well, first and foremost, elections. Elections in the United States, the midterm elections, which is really going to decide the fate of the Trump administration going through the next to 2028. So that's big. If that weren't enough, the Israeli elections have to take place by October 27th of 2026, according to the Knesset rules, and it means that, stunningly enough, Benjamin Netanyahu may make all of his four-year term, which he predicted he would do in 2022, and that almost never happens in Israeli politics. Those two elections are going to drive a lot of policy in the Middle East and really all over the world. So,
well, and Chris, predictions for maybe who comes after Benjamin Netanyahu or what happens here in Israel?
Well, who comes after? I don't know. I mean, we've been waiting for who comes after Benjamin Netanyahu for years, decades, actually. I think one of the biggest things coming up in this coming year is the uncertainty. We have a shaky ceasefire in Gaza. We have a shaky ceasefire with Hezbollah. I wouldn't even call them ceasefires because there's really something going on almost every day. I think those two fronts are going to be very critical. And the other one I think that we really should be looking at is Syria. Is Syria going to be sort of a benign neighbor to Israel, or is it going to be falling into an Islamist state right on Israel's border? I think maybe the latter, based on what we see in social media, in parades where they're calling Khaybar, and I explained what that is. That goes back 1,400 years, where the Muslims attacked a Jewish tribe. So I think Syria is going to be a big, and Turkey, supported by Turkey, a big issue going into 2026.
Yeah, well, and John, we're seeing the rise of the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States. We're seeing radical Islam invading our schools and invading even our politics. Is that going to continue, or are we going to put a stop to it?
I think it's going to continue to an extent, but that's really going to be up to the Trump administration. And, you know, Trump needs a united front. Evangelicals voted 81% for Trump in the 2024 election. Evangelicals are not going to be happy if it appears that they're coddling the Muslim Brotherhood, Qatar, Turkey, and it may not be the top element or issue that the voters run on, but you want a united front when you're going up in this critical election that's going to decide the fate of the Trump presidency overall. So I think that there needs to be a little more communication with the base on why Qatar is so important to the administration, why Turkey is. And on the Israel side of things, their elections are largely, I think, driven by the opposition desire to get anybody but Netanyahu into the prime minister's chair. And to do that, I think they're going to use a vehicle of a commission of inquiry, which is what they desperately want to see. They'd like to see all the blame laid at the feet of Netanyahu, even though we already know military and intelligence failures that never got to the desk of Netanyahu were part of the reason for October 7th. But there could be a lot of that kind of, sorting out who's to blame for October 7th. And to sort that blame, I think they need to go back 40 years. Any commission they have should go back to the failures of Oslo, the failures of the disengagement of 2005 that brought the rockets in the first place.
Yeah, and another thing, Joshua, I think coming up this year, I think we possibly may see a dramatic rise in Aliyah. We've seen this rise of global anti-Semitism. We've seen the election, talking about elections, the election of Mayor Mamdani. He's going to be sworn in on January 1st. There's a lot of Jews I know that are talking right now. Do we come here to Israel? Is this going to be the safest place for us? So I think that's something that we should be looking at in 2026. The continued rise of anti-Semitism and the response by many Jewish people that think this is going to be the safest place for us in the future.
All right, we'll be right back with more. Julie Stahl will be joining us for predictions in 2026.